Now, to tell you what the difference is between doing this with the energy exercises, the hand brushing and the foot brushing thing, generally speaking, the traditional lore has been that you could only take people to one focus level per day. And, so you could go to 10, or you could go to 12, or you could go to 15, or you could go to 21. So to get to 21 would take 4 days. Well, in 5.5 hours of training, you guys went 4 levels up, actually 4 deep levels up, because both 15 and 21 are considered very deep levels. So you guys did great. I'm deeply impressed with how powerful you are as meditators. This, I think, is an exceptionally good audience. So that's excellent. Now, I do have a couple of words of warning. This meditation was a pretty deep one. And we've been doing energy exercises and all kinds of things all day today. And you're probably going to, I don't know whether you're going to be doing more exercises tonight or not. But there is such a thing, so they've told me, called grounding. And this is, again, do as I say and not as I do. I have trouble grounding. I don't ground easily, and I don't ground well. So I tend to go out and I tend to be like really spacey. Now the good news for me is that if I sort of get out there, I can actually function in the real world. As long as I'm around focus 27 or lower, most people probably would just think I'm slightly spaced, but not too bad. If I'm out trying to function in the real world and I'm beyond focus 27, it is obvious to anyone who looks at me. And that's happened to me a few times. And the good news for me is that when I'm with my North Carolina friends, they just, and I'm speaking in gibberish, or I'm doing something completely weird because I'm so spaced out. They just sort of tell the waiters or the sales clerks or whoever is just looking at me really strange, say, "Oh, she's from California." Totally explains everything. Nobody even oh, no wonder. Oh, land of the fruits and nuts and flakes, right? So that's my excuse, but it's not the reason. It's not. I'm not flaky because I'm from California. I'm flaky because I'm like way out there. However, grounding is like a really good thing. Yeah, you want to be grounded, particularly if you're going to get behind the wheel of a car. Now, most of you are not driving tonight. Is that true? Nobody's really driving any distance. You're driving any distance? Okay, so but you're not driving any, you're not doing what I'm doing and getting behind the wheel and driving 5 hours, right? Okay. So that's a good thing. But when you're doing this advanced meditation, it's really important that you be careful about things like driving. Now, I'm going to give you odd advice. When you ground, presumably you all know a bunch of techniques for grounding. I mean, you can take a shower, you can go swim in the ocean, you can run barefoot in the dirt or the sand or whatever. You can physically connect yourself to ground by running barefoot or going out literally and hugging a tree. That's always a good one. That actually works for some people. You can also eat a heavy meal, red meat. This is a steak and potatoes time. Starches and red meats are really good to help you ground. I have been told, and have not tried it myself and have no intention of trying it, that the most effective grounding technique is to eat a cold, raw hot dog. Because I know it's really particularly because the curse in my family growing up was, may you have to eat cold hot dogs, But I've been told that all the chemicals in the hot dogs are such that your digestive system immediately goes into panic attack and basically pulls all the energy available in your body into your digestive system, and it really grounds you. It brings you down very fast. I have never tried that and have no intention of ever trying that, but I've been told it works really well. And the answer to how many cold hot dogs you eat is until you're grounded. This is why I don't buy hot dogs in my house, so they're not available. I'm so smart. Another thing that works is alcohol. Alcohol is a depressant and it will ground you. However, there's a huge caveat with that. When you are at a high energy level, the effect of alcohol is amplified. So if normally, I don't know, if you were not a teetotaler, if you would normally say your limit would be like 2 drinks or 2 beers or something or 2 glasses of wine, expect your limit to be at no more than half of your usual limit. So half a glass of wine might do for you what 2 glasses would when you're normal. So, but alcohol does work, and in extreme cases, sometimes it's one of the few things that do work. So, don't snicker. I'm not telling everybody to go out and get drunk tonight, but also, again, I will remind you to be very, very careful about eating in restaurants with silverware. And like I said, explain this to the waiter, okay? I dare you. I want to hear what you say to the waiter to explain that, right? Yes. Maureen did it, right? Maureen made me do it. I heard that from over here, the peanut gallery over here. Yes. But, do be careful, and particularly if the conversation gets intense, if, don't start arguing politics tonight, okay? Religion and politics should be off your menu while you're handling cutlery. You can talk about it afterwards, you talk about it before, but not while particularly if you're in a restaurant where you want to ever go back, okay? Okay, so grounding is a good thing. It's something that we all should do on occasion. Whether I do it or not, it's something different, but, it's a good thing. Okay, so let's just recap briefly what we've done today. We've gone through a lot. We have learned about the basic recipe for going into an altered state. You guys all have this in your notes. You've learned about the preparatory process. You've learned some serious energy exercises. Those are from Robert Bruce. We've done a couple of cool meditations. The first one this morning, we went through Focus 10, 12, and 15. The one this afternoon, we added Focus 21. And some of you got an opportunity to speak with departed loved ones, which is really cool. Then we also learned, your fried little neurons learned a little bit about physics. And learned why you will never be suckered in by entanglement explains it all, because entanglement doesn't explain anything. But physics can explain it all, sort of, maybe. In an arm-waving kind of way, physics can explain it all. Okay, does anyone have any final questions? We have just a couple minutes before we've got a break. Okay, question over here, and then we'll come over to you.
Is it on?
Yes.
When I go in, like Walmart or someplace where there are a lot of people, when I leave, I am totally drained of energy. How can I prevent that?
You remember how you put your reball around yourself, your energy balloon? Before you go into Walmart, pop an energy balloon around you to protect yourself. People who are sensitive and empathic often have a lot of trouble dealing with crowds. And so whenever you're going to be in a crowd, there's somebody up here with a question too. There's a lot of people who have trouble dealing with crowds. It's a sign of usually being highly empathic. So pop a reball around yourself and protect yourself before you even walk into Walmart.
I'm not sure, but when you said for your milestones or I can't even remember the word now, signposts, and I'd turn around and I would see like one thing for each signpost. Do those represent or mean anything?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. They could just be signposts.
Oh, okay.
They don't have to
They were objects. Just
Yeah, I mean, I tend to see different kinds of street signs.
Okay.
And everyone's kind of a different style, and some of them, except Focus 15 is this flashing blue neon light. But they're different, and it doesn't matter what they are, as long as you remember that this one means 15 and that one means 12. Okay. It can be helpful to incorporate a number, the focus level number like 10, 12, 15, into the thing if there's a way to do that.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, yes? Can I count the colors? Yes, the colors are, and this is a repeating pattern of colors. No, actually it is in one of the appendixes. Blue for 15, red for 16, yellow for 17, rose for 18, which is the level of heart energy. It's one of my favorite places to hang out. 19 is green. 20 is purple. And 21 is white. Now you'll notice these sound similar to, but are not quite the same as either the colors of the rainbow or the colors of the chakras. They are a little different. These colors were channeled by one of Bob Monroe's explorers who connected with a spirit called Miranon. And this is part of the Miranon cosmology that he came up with. And when you go to, I think it's Gateway, I think the very first program, they give you a whole little chart and they explain why these are the right colors for these focus levels, and it doesn't matter. I mean, there's that pattern of 7 repeating colors. The Miranon cosmology has 7 levels, 7 sets of 7 levels each, and these colors repeat every 7 levels. So focus 22 would be blue again. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How often should we do these meditations, and what can we expect to happen?
How often should you do the meditations? It depends as much on how much free time you have as anything else. I had the delusion that you should do one a day. And then I went to my Gateway program, or my first TMI program, where you do 6 and 7 of these a day. I mean, you start at 9 o'clock in the morning and you do one, and they tell you about one, and you do. Actually, it's 5 to 6 a day. They keep you at it all day long, and that's really intense. But you can do that on your own. Just don't plan to get any housework done or homework or anything else. You're just going to do that. And it's helpful to be able to get up and walk around between meditations, because that just really helps ground you and keep you from flying off. One more question, and then we have to stop. Yes, ma'am, I guess, over here. Maybe you could yell.